The inheritance of ideas. How the next generation is reimagining philanthropy and carrying legacies forward with innovation and collaboration.
The question that I often ask people is, have you heard of Rockefeller, the name Rockefeller? Almost everyone's heard of Rockefeller. Can you name the company that made Rockefeller rich in the first place? Very few people know that it was Standard Oil. So that is a very powerful example that it is because of their philanthropy that you know the name Rockefeller, not because he owned a fossil fuel company, big one. So I think that philanthropy is very integral to essentially family values and legacy, and we have ample evidence of that, right? We know the names Rockefeller and Carnegie. I don't think 100 years from now, no one will even know what an operating system is, but they will know who Bill Gates is. So I think that families, if their desire is to be thought of for generations to come as caring about people and planet, philanthropy is a surefire way of helping that to come about.
You'll be remembered for what you build, not what you own.
When you think about philanthropy, it's really the continuation, in most of the cases, the continuation of the family legacy and a lot of the family value. It sometimes doesn't quite make sense for a foundation to sustain for multiple generations without reviewing and readapting the strategies and also incorporating the views of the next generations. Otherwise, you'll lose traction and they'll just disconnect with the causes, and also the society keeps evolving, so you have to really incorporate the new way of thinking and also to engage your next generations. But I think there's a bigger importance of taking a step back and looking at the family business ecosystem, where you need to engage the next generation, understand their needs and priorities, and also educating them, the next gens, but also the current gens. There's a lot of education needed about how this field is evolving, how the society is changing, and really working together with both generations in drafting and designing the strategies for future.
How are legacies created?
I believe legacy comes in two ways. First, you can build your own. That is done based on your own merits and your own achievements. Even within the bigger family legacy context, you can set and create your own legacy based on your own passions and your own achievements. You can ask yourself, did you do something lasting and impactful? Otherwise, the alternative is when the family's grander plans, how you defined it, and do they do it with intention? What are your family values? What is the family charter? What is the family purpose? And what is the family's mission statement? Only when you ask yourself these questions, then you can discuss it as a family in a whole, and then you can start building a lasting legacy. Historically in Asia, there is a saying, they believe that family business wealth do not last beyond 3 generations, 富不过3代. Yet there are great examples in the West where families, there are multiple generations and it's still succeeding, and it's because they're able to talk openly and plan accordingly. So at the end of the day, strategic planning and culture building is critical, and you can never start too early.
You know, I'm sure when I die, people will think I'm a pain in the butt and will say all sorts of things about me. But some people might say, gosh, she did something amazing for the prison system in this country. I care more about the values I'm handing on to my children just by doing. So when my children say, what do you mean you're going abroad for 5 days to a conference? And I sort of tell them why. I talk to them about my prison work all the time. It's important that they know when I leave home and go to London, I say, I'm not just shopping, I'm not just seeing friends. Today I'm seeing the Justice Secretary to talk about what we can do to stop women from going to prison who should not be there. I'm talking to the Justice Secretary about how we can prevent innocent children from going into the care system. So for me, I guess if I was to think about legacy, it's what type of mother do I want my children to see me as? That's important to me.
The inheritance of ideas and values is more powerful than the inheritance of wealth.
Well, it's so brilliant because there are so many disruptive ways to give now, especially pioneered by younger generations. And I'm also so lucky that the founder of the Philanthropy, the Turner Foundation that I'm a part of, that I'm third generation for, was started by my grandfather, who was disruptive himself, giving $1 billion for the first $1 billion gift, really to step in when the US wasn't paying our dues to the US. So my grandfather really led with being disruptive, and we've gotten to not only see that, but also bring that as our own values. And we've been able to do that, each generation and carry on his legacy in that way.
The next generation is reimagining philanthropy and advancing legacy through collaboration and bold innovation.
One of the biggest examples that I'm really proud to share is actually something called the Global Youth Mobilization. It was a platform that started during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was funded by the World Health Organization and UN Foundation, and brought in multiple other funders underneath this. But the reason for its existence was there was this conscious understanding that the people that were delivering on the ground, that were there for their communities, were young people. And they didn't have the funds or the resources to continue delivering despite the challenges that they faced. And they were delivering not just for themselves, they were delivering for their communities. And so the Global Youth Mobilization was one of the largest youth platforms that helped channel huge amount of funds directly to young people.
Global Youth Mobilization. Over $15 million have been invested, fueling 2,179 youth-led projects across more than 140 countries, engaging and empowering over 3.6 million young people around the world. The next generation will challenge legacy and traditional approaches, renewing them through innovation.
I'm not sure what others are doing, but the traditional way is just one-off donations to different causes. It is not sustainable. So I think the modern day innovative way of giving in supporting these initiatives is you need to foster a systematic change, which ultimately has a permanent impact for the future. So we need to support initiatives that tackle institutional change, invest in the future, whether in social enterprises or impact investment.
So actually, when I was working with the World Economic Forum, so one of the next generation we've been working with, it's actually looking at how can we bring blockchain into philanthropic decision models, as well as how can we leverage artificial intelligence in kind of, first of all, assisting with philanthropic decisions, but as well as enhancing the efficiencies and productivities in the non-for-profit sector, selecting projects, selecting experts to support with the philanthropic giving, and also assisting with kind of the decision of where the philanthropic money should go.
96% of millennials are interested in sustainable and impact investing. Don't fund the symptoms, but change the systems. How the next generations are reshaping philanthropy. 72% of next-gen donors prefer impact investments alongside traditional giving. And 65% of donors under the age of 45 prefer unrestricted gifts to allow flexibility. By 2045, between $84 and $124 trillion in wealth will be transferred, with next-gens steering philanthropic priorities.
There are so many ways that young philanthropists can redefine traditional giving. I think one is just being curious. For instance, asking the right questions, sometimes asking the wrong questions, and not feeling afraid about challenging what has been done before, but also learning and taking what has worked well to that next level.
Is legacy something that happens to you, or something you can intentionally design and shape?
I think it's both. I think it's a confluence of, yes, it can happen to you. And I think it might be a combination of your personality, but also your experiences, what drives and motivates you. But the combination of those qualities or features that make up who you are as an individual, when you're able to combine that with strategic foresight, with long-term planning, with using the best tools, whether it's AI or people power, it's exponential. And I think it's really up to the individual, the path that they choose, but I really firmly believe it's best of both worlds.
What legacy will you build?